What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How have y'all been doing? I've been doing great. So, I've been thinking about some stuff. I feel like I'm starting most of my videos saying this. I feel like it's just becoming a habit where I'm trying to build myself upward into the actual topic of the video. But today's topic is about the fact that some people get offended over some things where sometimes you ask yourself, why the hell are people getting offended over this? Like, what? And I'm referring to the fact that it appears as though somewhere in one of my videos, some people do not take too kindly to some of the choice of words that I use on my videos, which I like to address that here right now. I don't care. It's just very simple. I've always said before, if you like the content that I've got on my channel, thank you. I appreciate that you like my content. Please subscribe again if you like my content. I'm trying to get well, now that we've surpassed 50, I'd like to see if we can get to 100 subscribers and see where we can go beyond that. But some people don't like my content, yet they still decided to watch it, which, I mean, I'm glad that you watched it. If you take offense to anything I say or a word that I use in my videos, in this particular case the word retard or the word retarded, and yes, I'm saying it right now for those of you who don't seem to like that I say that, well, tough tits, because that's just how this channel is. The fact of the matter is, I find it very stupid as I've gotten older over the years, and I see a lot of the drama on the internet where people are like, how dare you say this, or how dare you do this thing this certain way. That's not how things are done. I guess in the sense of what we find entertaining now, what we find entertaining and what we don't find entertaining, and what we find offensive and what we do find offensive. Apparently on the internet I've seen some things where people take offense when you, like I said, when you use the word retard. Apparently nowadays you can't say the word midgets either, because apparently that's also offensive. And to me personally, as someone who grew up in the days, I know I always mention the date, but honestly it was a time period and a vibe where apparently, you would get on the old Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1, you would hear people saying all sorts of wild shit on the mics. And a lot of those people are either my age or pushing 40. And honestly, that's just how things were back then. You can't fault somebody who grew up in that time period for being the way they are. I feel like if I have to neutralize my way of doing things because apparently some people don't like it because I come from an old time period where things were different, and apparently I was like, oh, that's not how we do things today. Well, sorry, I hate to break it to you, but that's just how I do things. This is how I've been doing things on my channel for years. I know, for example, in a lot of the, for anyone who's seen these videos, the old G-Man Squad vids, in a lot of those vids, if you remember, if you're old enough to remember Machinima, and you're old enough to remember a series of videos on Machinima known as G-Man Squad, a lot of times they would use words that are no longer considered acceptable in modern vocabulary, apparently. One of them in particular is the F word, which is another word for gay. If you know what the word is, obviously, that's apparently a big no-no word on YouTube now, but if you know what I'm referring to, then good for you. But that word was used commonly in a lot of those vids, and someone like me was of my teenage years when those videos were a big thing on YouTube, and obviously, because that was our speech back then. That's how we did things, how we said things. We just said that like that because that was normal for us. So once you said it for so long and you've grown up saying it for so long, and you say it with your boys or your friends or your family members or whatever who are the same age as you, that's how you were used to saying things. It's just normal for someone my age. Maybe someone who's younger than me is probably going to be like, how dare you say something like that? That's not acceptable. And I remember when Borderlands 3 changed midgets to tinks. I found it stupid. But apparently they were like, no, it's because saying the word midget is offensive. And I'm like, look, when you say something, and this is something that I feel that a lot of people today just seem to lack, it's critical thinking. What is it that they told you about critical thinking and using your critical thinking skills when you were in school? Because this is something that they most likely may have taught you in elementary school, and you may have probably dozed off or just didn't pay attention, because I know I went to school with a lot of people who dozed off or just didn't pay attention or just didn't care about what was being taught, because they're like, oh, when am I ever going to use this for anything? Which, okay, playing devil's advocate here, they do have a point on some cases of what we learned in school. Because to this day, I still have no clue what the hell I'm going to use the whole idea of the mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell. That meme, as ridiculous as it is, that is actually one of the things that we learned when I was in school. That the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Don't know what the fuck I need to use that for when none of what I studied in college had anything to do with that, but that's beside the point. The thing is that critical thinking skill, a very useful skill that's actually something very important that you need to know since you were in school. And this is something that they taught us as early as elementary school. That is to read between the lines. And when I say read between the lines, not just when you're reading a book, but when you're listening to someone talk, or when you're listening to music, or when you're playing a video game, when you're watching a movie, use your critical thinking skills because they're really useful. And I think hopefully my pop filter didn't pick up me. There was like some dust on it, and my brain was like, get the little speck of dust off the pop filter. Oh, my brain. I'm one of those people as soon as I see a little imperfection in something, I gotta like quickly remove it because it's gonna fuck with my head. But anyways, critical thinking skills. You gotta read between the lines. You gotta understand that when somebody does something or somebody says something, you gotta know the context. And you gotta understand the context. And once you've gathered the context of what's going on, you can form some kind of a proper opinion on what just happened or what was said. I think one of the better examples of what exactly critical thinking skills are supposed to be is a clip of South Park, where I think it was Cartman who was saying about usage of the F word and the meaning of it. When essentially he was saying that when you use the F word with your friends or when you're just in casual conversation with somebody, you're not using it to actually insult somebody who's gay. You're using it to your own friends, which your own friends know what the context is, because you're not using it to actually insult somebody. You're using it to essentially, kind of like slap your friends around, basically. But you never use a word like that specifically to the person who you know that this is considered offensive to, if you know what I mean. But you gotta understand the context of what the word is being used in. In the case of something like South Park, they're using the word because, Cartman and his friends obviously are gonna use it amongst each other because that's what they say to each other. This is a group of friends saying it to each other. Obviously, they're not gonna use the word to somebody who's actually from that specific group of people. I feel like if there's one thing I gotta say, because I am Hispanic American myself, and I do say this is one of the things, if you're Hispanic American and on the internet, you are quite aware that, and I'm talking about someone who actually uses the term Latino or Latina, not that Latinx shit. If you're someone like that, you know very well that you really don't take offense to really anything, because it's really stupid to get offended about something, about what someone does or what someone says. You're just like, look, dog, I've been on this earth for a while. I know when something is actually meant to be offensive and when something is just meant to be a joke or just something that's just meant to be casual speech. And a lot of motherfuckers seem to lack backbone. And those same motherfuckers that lack backbone are the people that invent words like Latinx. I've always said it myself. Someone who's Hispanic, I do not take offense to a lot of the slurs that are used for someone who's Hispanic. I take way more offense to hearing the word Latinx, because that is a really stupid word. I didn't want to know what dumbass came up with such an idiotic word. Like, you're not even using Spanish correctly. You're using it in the most retarded manner possible to invent a word that makes zero sense to anybody, because you're like, no, we can't gender the word Latino because that's we can't make gendered words. Like, what is the level of stupidity that it takes to create something like that? Because we don't want to offend. It's like, motherfucker, I am Hispanic. I take no offense if you use Latino or Latina to describe somebody who's Hispanic, because who the fuck cares? Like, It's like, you are going to say Latino to a Hispanic man, or you are going to say Latina to a Hispanic woman. I mean, obviously, Shadow the Hedgehog's favorite type of woman. I'm pretty sure he's not going to say Latinx. He's going to say, it's like, Sonic, I love Latinas, Sonic. Some shit like that. But in terms of people getting offended by something, it's stupid. I've always said it's really stupid to get offended about something, because at the end of the day, you're like, oh man, I didn't rub me off the right way. I'm a little taken aback by this. I'm offended by this choice of words that's being used. That is uncouth, sir. How dare you not use the right grammar, the right vocabulary for the year of our Lord 2025? Like, okay, who cares? We are not perfect as a species. We're humans. We are not perfect. We don't. It's like, obviously we're not perfect. I mean, look at the world around us today. We are definitely not perfect. But one thing we are is we just want to live. Because really, in the modern world, there's very little that really makes us happy anymore, given the current context of the world. I mean, Russia and Ukraine are currently still at war. Israel is screwing over Palestine over there in the Middle East. There's a god-awful trade war going on. Apparently now Japan, China, and Korea are joining forces to fight America in the trade war, because the trade war is really, gone off the rails, even though it should have never started in the first place. It's just not a good time. So if we're policing how people are doing or saying things, then you're no better than the same people who are like, it's like, I need to make sure that I censor these people that I don't agree with, or these people that I don't like, because I don't like what they're saying or what they're doing, and it makes me offended somehow, even though it's not like a real offense. I'm just trying to feel like a victim here, because I need to make sure that I feel like a victim to win my internet brownie points for the day. It's like when I was reading on the internet, obviously y'all know that I play Marvel Rivals. I fucking love the game, especially a lot of the skins they've been giving to some of the characters. Phenomenal. So just recently I recall reading that they're going to add Emma Frost to Marvel Rivals, and apparently on Twitter. Now I know Twitter is not the biggest place for well-educated discourse on any topic. But it is interesting to read just what kind of levels of stupidity humanity can get to on that site. And of the levels of stupidity I've seen, people apparently were taking great offense to the fact that they made Emma Frost with dummy thick thighs for some reason. Which, honestly, I don't mind. I really don't mind. Now, your mindset is probably like, well, you're a straight male. How dare you? Like, this is a sexualization and objectification of women. This is considered offensive. And I'm like, okay, it's a game. Like, tough tits. If you don't like the game, go play something else. Like, you don't, if you get offended by it, well, I don't know what to tell you. Grow a backbone, please. Like, please, for the love of God, just grow a backbone. Like, watch some videos of, like, Modern Warfare 2 lobbies in, like, 2010. And please try to grow a backbone from it. Or, like just try and, like, be normal. Please stop being offended for everything, because nobody cares. No sane human being cares. We just want to be entertained. And some of us who are seeing those clips of Emma Frost in Marvel Rivals, we're like, yeah, she looks good. Like what did you want Emma Frost to look like? Like some kind of Lizzo looking type? It's like, no, like you wanted her to at least look appealing to the eye. Someone, I think I remember, said it's like, well, the female characters in the game are not meant to be eye candy. No, like, but somebody playing a game, if you're playing as a woman, you want to be beautiful, and if you're playing as a man, you want to be fucking badass. You don't want to be some like wimpy looking man or some ugly looking woman in a game, because nobody's gonna want to play as those characters, especially if it's third person. But apparently people seem to take offense to the fact that they just made Emma Frost with really thick thighs. And I'm like, okay, but like they had a design choice because they know their audience, and they're going with what the Marvel Rivals audience wants. And a lot of that Rivals audience are the same people who were really enjoying Overwatch content that's not specifically made by the game, but like, you know what kind of Overwatch content I'm talking about. A lot of that audience came over to Rivals. So NetEase, knowing the audience that they got, you gotta appeal to the audience. It's like, I think Yoko Taro, when it's like speaking of Yoko Taro specifically, since I just mentioned him, because I'm trying to get to another point from that, is the fact that someone like Yoko Taro created a character like 2B because he understands what the audience wants. He understands what he knows what gamers like. The average gamer is going to want someone who looks like 2B in the game. If you take offense to the design of something like that because you're like, oh, well, this is objectification, it's like, okay, but when the male characters get objectified, you don't see men taking offense to that. I'm like, if I see, for example, people making like lewd mods for like Leon in Resident Evil, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna use the mods because I don't really want to see skimpy Leon, okay? But I do want to see, I don't know, like if I'm playing Resident Evil, I do want to see skimpy Ada Wong, for example. If like, because I'm a man and I want to see that as I'm playing the game, as I'm probably like scaring the shit out of myself playing a horror game. I'm not good with horror games, but you know, at least something to make the anxiety of playing a horror game a little diminished, because you're like, you know, at least my character looks good. And I can understand why some people want to do that for Leon, and why some people want to do it for like Jill or Ashley or Ada, why they want them to look a little bit more skimpier. So if some people are going to get offended by that, then, you know, stop being offended, damn it. We weren't this butthurt about everything like 10, 15 years ago. I don't know what the hell happened. Like, everybody just finds an excuse to get offended over the dumbest of things. Whether it's what someone says, what someone does, or what someone includes in their entertainment. People get offended over some stupid shit. And there is no need to get offended over some stupid shit. Please, people, just grow a backbone. Just when you get offended of something, just realize, like, are you offended for yourself or are you offended for a whole community of people? Because some people like to say, oh, I am offended and I am here being offended for a group of people that I may or may not even be a part of. That's like, for example, me getting offended for like something that someone says. What I'm referring to is a lot of the people who claim to be offended by something or take something as offensive are a lot of people who are saying this is offensive to this group of people, even though the person who is apparently offended isn't even a part of that specific group of people that they're claiming is offended by that thing. Like, a lot of the times where I see people are saying, the whole thing with video games again, where people are saying, oh, like, this character is being sexually objectified or whatever. A lot of the people saying that in regards to characters in games are usually people who are, for example, like if somebody were to make like a lot of the people who are talking about like Emma Frost, for example, looking the way she looks in Marvel Rivals now. A lot of the people saying what they're saying about that are people who are, for some reason, surprisingly, it's some people would think, oh well, it's a lot of women who apparently seem to. No, I know women who absolutely are all in favor of characters, you know, looking good in games, because you want to play as somebody who looks good. You don't want to play as somebody who looks ugly. Why do you think Concord died the way that it did? Because those characters were fucking ugly. I mean, there was a myriad of other reasons why Concord fucking died, but that is the biggest reason. That's one of the biggest reasons why it died. Ugly character design. Marvel Rivals seems to understand that that's not how a game is going to take off. You gotta make sure that your characters look good. And then the people getting offended by the fact that the characters look good are people that, first off, the game is not meant for you. Or you are somebody who's like, I'm offended because the woman in the game looks sexy, and that's a man who's saying that. And I've noticed that a lot of people who seem to be getting offended by those characters that are, you know, supposed to be good-looking women are people on the internet who may have like a pride flag, whether it's like a trans pride flag or something next to their name. I don't know why they get offended by this. I'm like, look, dude, like, if you're offended by this, please grow a backbone. Like just learn to stop being offended about everything you find on the internet. If you get offended about everything, you'll never be able to enjoy life. You're supposed to enjoy life. You're not supposed to be like, I don't like this. This is offensive to me. This is stupid. I find this idiotic. Like, look, there's a lot of stuff that I may not agree with myself personally, but I can understand why people enjoy it. It's like look, I'm a guy who watches GunTuber videos. When I mean GunTuber, I don't know if people use the same term as me to describe channels where it's basically just people talking about guns and shooting guns. Look, I'm a Second Amendment type person. I like guns. I like a lot of entertainment that has guns. Look, if there's one way to really get my attention, it is an anime that understands its guns. So I watch YouTube channels about GunTubers. And I'm saying that as somebody who's a registered Democrat who votes Democrat, but I'm very pro Second Amendment. So I'm watching these videos because I enjoy these videos. I like watching vids about guns. I started off watching FPS Russia long ago. I played Call of Duty for so long. I've even played Battlefield, even though I could never get into Battlefield. But I played Battlefield. It's just the gameplay of Battlefield is just not for me. I'm more of a Call of Duty type, fast-paced gameplay type guy for my first-person shooters. So obviously, like if somebody takes offense to the jokes that they crack in a lot of GunTuber vids, because I know that a lot of these GunTubers tend to lean more conservative. It's just a fact that GunTubers tend to lean conservative because a lot of them know that their audience, that their views fall more in line with conservative mindsets here in America, which I've always said it's very stupid that if you're okay, so what if you're someone like me who's very Second Amendment, but you're very liberal on a couple of other things? Where do you go in this case? But that's not for this video. That's not what this video is about. The main thing that this is about is the fact that these types of content creators understand their audience. If somebody goes to one of these channels and gets offended because one of these channels cracked a joke or is just basically showcasing firearms on their channel and they're like, I'm so offended because they have guns being shown, or they're cracking jokes about the Biden administration, or they're cracking jokes about the government or something, or they're cracking jokes about liberals or something. I am offended about this. Look, that's not meant for you. The humor is not meant for you. Just learn to enjoy the content of the video for what it's supposed to be at its core. It's a guy or a girl shooting a gun. It's entertaining. I may not agree with the politics of a lot of these channels, but I find entertainment in them because they're entertaining videos. Sometimes I may actually agree with what someone who's conservative says on certain things, but not everything, which is why I lean more Dem than I lean Republican, because obviously, a lot of what I view leans more towards one side. I wish there was more than two parties in this case, because then I could obviously, pick a party that more aligns with how I view things, which is a combo of both sides, but slightly more from one side than the other. But unfortunately, I have to go with the side that leans more to my specific field, my specific view of things. But that doesn't mean I can't enjoy content that conservatives find entertaining. I enjoy GunTuber channels. If they say something that I don't agree with, I'm not offended by it. I'm yeah, that's not that portion of it is not for me, but everything else is for me. Just whatever and move on. It's somebody who gets offended by everything, just I don't know how you're able to live your life getting offended by everything. Just learn to enjoy shit. Just don't it's supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be comedy. It's just supposed to be some regular speech. It's not a dick. Don't take it so hard. That's quite one way to wrap all of this up. I think I've spoken I think I've given my 2 cents on this. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.